Hey everybody, I'm here to talk about the new show This Is Us. If you're new to my channel, please hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button because I will be here every week talking about the whole season of this show. And also go to my page and check out some of my other videos because I may be doing reviews on other shows that you watch. So let's talk about this episode of This Is Us. This show is about all of these people who share the same birthday. So let's just talk about it. Now, there is a couple, Rebecca and Jake, and they're a married couple and they're about to have triplets. So it's Jake's birthday, obviously, and she's giving him a little pregnant striptease. And while they're having their little fun moment, her water breaks. So they go to the hospital. And the first thing that they find out is that the doctor that's supposed to deliver the baby won't be able to do it. So they have another doctor. Now, he's an older man. He's basically a veteran at delivering babies. So they were a little nervous at first, but they eventually learned to trust him. So she has complications during the pregnancy. She actually pushes one of the babies out, but she has two more to go, but she goes into distress. And so the doctor tells Jake to go sit down somewhere and let him do what he needs to do to, make sure his family is okay. So in the end, one of the babies passed away. And this was very hard for Jack because he was having a hard time just processing everything that was going on. So the doctor sat down and he starts to give him this talk. It was very moving. It almost brought me to tears. But he just talked about how he's been trying to live his life now that his wife is gone. And he said that he also had lost his first child and that the pain of it never really goes away, but you learn to deal with it and help others who may be going through the same thing. So that gave him a source of comfort. Now let's skip over to another person who has a birthday on this day, and her name is Kate. And Kate is an overweight woman and she is really struggling with it. She goes to this support group for overweight people, and in this particular meeting, she meets this guy and he's kind of like silly and sarcastic, but he's there, because he's overweight too. And he, approaches her and he asks her out on a date. So she's like, wait a minute, are you serious? So they go on a date and, they have a good time. And she lets him know, look, I'm very serious about this losing weight. And I'm just can't get involved with anyone that's overweight. And he said, well, I guess I have to lose the weight then. Like, he's really good for her. She's feeling very insecure about herself, but he flirts with her and he makes her feel just like a woman all over again, because she tells him, I'm not really used to dating. It's been a while since I've done this. And he just reassures her that she's beautiful and he's very into her and he wants to date her. Also at the beginning of the episode with her, she was in the bathroom, I think, and she slipped and fell. And so she had to call her brother over to help her. Now let's talk about him. His name is Kevin, and he's a very attractive actor. And one of the things that is annoying him is he's playing this role on this show called Manny. And he's basically the sexy comedian, non-serious type of a character that he's playing. And so he's not really feeling fulfilled with that. He feels like he has way more depth. He could do so much more. He has a bigger range, he thinks, and he wants to try to do that. And so when he talks to the director about it, the director waved him off like, look, if it's not broke, we're not going to fix it. And Kevin had a complete meltdown in the middle of one of the shows because it was just absurd to him that he was staying in this situation that he knew he wasn't happy in. So he just falls out and flips out all on stage and just ruins it. And he says, I quit. And, I guess his plan is to go ahead and try to find roles with more depth and, just kind of broaden his acting horizon. So he's feeling very insecure about that. So he goes and visits his sister. Now, mind you, Kate was on the date. And her little friend done talked his way into the house, so they're in there sitting there, just having their alone time. And then in comes her brother, just interrupting the whole thing, honey. And it was just so funny. And he's like, what's going on in here? You got a date? So he sits down, and she tries to give him advice, and try to help him feel better about what's going on. Now there's another guy who has a birthday on the same day, and his name is Randall. And he's a very accomplished man. He's a husband. He's a father. He has two beautiful little girls. And one of the things that's happening on his birthday this year is that he found out where his birth father was, because his father had abandoned him when he was a child. So he went over to the address that whoever found him gave him, and he confronted the man. And he already had like this whole speech. He was like, "Look, I'm a very accomplished man. See that car out there? I paid for it in cash because I could, and I did fine without you." He just kind of gave this whole speech. And it was so funny because as soon as he made this whole speech, it's like he wanted to just say it, and he wanted to leave, and just do it like that. And his father was like, "Would you like to come inside?" And he was like, "Yes." So he goes inside, and him and his father talk. And at the end of it, once again, Randall kind of has this moment where he's like, "Well, I don't really care. I'm out of here." So he walks out and he leaves. And then he comes back and he's like, "Do you want to meet your grandkids?" So, his father's like, "Yes, I would love to meet them." So he takes him over to his house. And it's so funny because Randall is going through so many emotions. It's like he don't even know what to do with his with himself, because he's happy, like he's hysterically laughing because I guess he's happy and excited, and then he's hysterically crying, and his wife is just looking at him like, "What is wrong with you?" His daughters are like, "What's wrong with daddy? He's acting weird." So anyway, so the father gets to spend the day with his grandkids, and he lets Randall know that he's actually dying. And so Randall says, "Well, just stay here the night." So I'm sure we'll see in later episodes how that's going to play out. And so at the end of this episode, the cute little twist to it all. So, okay, remember we were talking about Rebecca and Jacob, right? And they lost one of their babies. So while Jake was standing there looking at his two beautiful babies, he had a little boy and a little girl. This police officer came up beside him and told him that there was a baby who had been abandoned and left at a fire station. And as you can already probably guess, Jake and Rebecca decided to adopt that baby. And guess who the babies are? You already know. The babies are Kate, Kevin, and Randall. So all the people in the story, they're brothers and sisters, and they're also telling the story of their parents and how they were raised. So that was a cute little twist to the show, and I think I'm really going to enjoy it. Now, if I left anything out, please drop it in the comments below. Make some comments and let me know how you like the show, and we'll continue the conversation. So I'll see you all in the next one, okay? All right, bye.